All right, I guess we're now doing something live now on YouTube yet again. Second time out, and we're going to basically talking about power options. I mean, we're not just talking about, plugging your block into the wall or running around with something battery operated because, that's literally all you have. I mean, we're now talking about stuff where things are kind of really going, well, not good. I mean, we're talking about things going really, really sketched up. What the heck did I do with that little burger? Oh man, I just had that just the other day. I was looking for something, and of course, it's now lost in the maelstrom known as my desk. Well, I got spares. Okay, I'm not too terribly worried about it. But anyway, I'm not talking about power options. I'm talking about when things really, really, really go south and you're really, really, really screwed, and you're going, oh crap, man, now what am I going to do because things are bad. I mean, not just bad, but I'm talking bad. Like technologically, you're now hosed because all those what's-its and devices and things you've gotten so used to having on a daily basis, and they're around always and they can be utilized, and those things are always going to work, and they're now dead, or they're now screwed, or you're now screwed, or everybody's now screwed. Reason being is essentially the power's gone out. I mean, we're not just talking lights went out for a second, pop back on, the grid's working. I'm talking about things going completely just bad. Hey, what's going on, Abrams? Appreciate you coming on by, dude. Hopefully the volume level is such as that it's not real crazy. I don't know what it is. For some reason, they're really super oversensitive. I am utilizing the other camera. I'm not utilizing my Microsoft Live Cam 360, whatever it is. I'm actually using the better of the two cameras, reading the Logitech. It's a 910, I believe it is. So it should be somewhat better of a picture. Hopefully it's going to be HD, and you can see me in all the glorious splendor and high definition. Not that I'm really all that great to look at, but you see better detail and stuff. So where would we go to from here? Power's out. You're screwed. You still got electronic devices to run. Do you have any means to recharge anything that you currently have? Well, in a perfect world, you would have a battery. I do mean like a power station, like one of these little wankers right here. This is one of two that we have. The other one, I don't know what Mrs. Dude did with it, but it's currently lost. I probably have to buy a third one now. She's really good at losing things, except for when I stick them in my area of influence. Read like it gets stuck in a travel bag or a trip bag or something, and it just gets lost. So anyway, what this guy is this is literally a 2-plug battery, and I've actually seen this thing taking trips, going through in the X-ray machine, and it's really cool. I actually had one time where I went through and I was like, excuse me, can I take a look at the screen? And they're like, well, why? I was like, well, I've never seen this hub through an X-ray device. Can I actually just take a look at it for a second? They're like, well, what are you looking for? I just want to see what it looks like on the inside. They're like, all right, come on around. So the TSA was actually being nice in that regard. So I went around behind the machine and took a look at it. And essentially what it is, it's a small circuit board and 3 NiCad lithium ion. I think there's 3 lithium ion battery cells. And this one is 10,900 milliamp hours. So it's basically 2 times or 3 times the capacity of your average smartphone. Smartphones are actually getting a hell of a lot more battery than they used to. Like Mrs. Dude's new phone, which is a Samsung 10. I think it's got about a 4,000 or almost a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I mean, the thing's actually sick. It's got, one of those recharging coils on it where you basically rest it on something and you recharge the phone. But her phone is as such as that you could tell her phone, hey, man, go ahead and recharge this other smartphone. So literally her phone can recharge another smartphone. And that's kind of cool tech. So now the technology is such as the batteries have gotten better. And literally one phone can now actually be equal to an older phone. Now, I actually have my old standby, which is still a Samsung S5. I still have a Samsung S3 that is currently out of service, but I do go online, read to the Google Play Store, and I do put a bunch more games on board because you never know when you need to have a backup. And it's always cool to have the one phone doing its job, like when I'm doing Uber and Lyft. And I have done this before. I'll be doing Uber and Lyft, and I'll have either my tablet or I'll have a spare smartphone, and I'm playing games on that one while the smartphone that I'm using for work is, basically standing by waiting for another call. That way I'm not tying up all the processor. That way I'm not killing the battery. That way I'm not doing anything it doesn't need to have doing except for what it is doing, which is basically earning me money. So technology is such in the way it's progressed. Smartphones now are sealed devices. I mean, the really, really cool thing about, these previous guys, like this one being a smartphone, Samsung S3 versus the new one being newer one being a Samsung S5 is literally I could change the batteries in like no time at all. I mean, literally, I just simply pop in a new battery. It's now fully recharged in like literally 10 seconds for all intents and purposes. It is fully recharged. My cats are messing around in the background. It's fully recharged in literally 10 seconds, and it is back up to do what it needs to do, and it's doing its job. I guess I got that in backwards. All right, that's better. All right, so anyway, this guy is still on standby, and it is ready to do its job if I need to. Why? Because it's still backwards compatible with the SIM card that I have on the S5, fits in the S3. Does not fit in newer phones unless I have one of those little stupid adapters that kind of looks like a SIM card tray. But I don't have one of those things as of yet because I'm still backwards compatible enough on all these other things. The only downside is the batteries are not compatible between these two devices. But the recharge time on these things is really, really, really quick. I mean, I can take the S5 from like basically 14, 10, whatever percent, turning off by itself almost. I can run that thing down to like almost dead to fully charged in under an hour. Now, for an older smartphone, that's pretty freaking quick. I also do have spare batteries. Hang on a second here. Come here, you bugger. Spare batteries are always good to have, especially if you have a phone that actually will allow you to switch batteries. Newer phones, like I said, are sealed devices, so that is not happening because literally they are, glass front, glass back, steel in the middle, or plastic, stuck together in such a way you are not taking them apart and you are screwed. So backup on that one would essentially be, oh crap, I have something that's dead. I need to recharge it. I need it to get back up and running. What the heck do I do? Well, you have one of these guys. And one of the nice things about this guy is, of course, if you have the technology, you can actually do stuff like that. Now, I've actually shot out one of these guys to one of the other YouTube channels, Iridium, and he's actually done his own testing on these simply because he's a gadget guy. And I was like, you know what, dude, you need to get one of these. And they were ridiculously cheap. I forget what they were on Amazon, but I think they were like $2 or $3 a piece. Not happy about it now because it is a Chinese product, but these have been rock solid. And like you saw in the, like looking at this thing, it's like scary freaking bright. I mean, like ridiculously bright. And of course, you can basically cycle it up, cycle it down, change the power settings. Of course, it's now freaking out my camera, but on its lowest setting, it is still ambient lighting. That is still cool to have, like, on a campground or something. And stuck in a device like this, it is going to run for just about 4 freaking weeks. I mean, this low-ass drain that this thing's putting in there, it is probably going to run for about 2 weeks, mostly because it is LEDs. LEDs are essentially way more efficient when they get down to a power level. They become more efficient. Translation, they keep working with less juice because they still have less juice. It's not like a incandescent bulb with the filament where it just goes dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until finally there's so little power can't run it anymore because it's just it's a mechanical thing versus an electronic thing. And the mechanization on these guys is really kind of cool. Now, this one I said essentially is just like one of these little lights. You basically have a USB plug. It goes either way. It'll plug in either way. I could plug it into my computer and turn it on. Anything that's got a USB plug, this will work. This one, of course, being one style of battery. This one, of course, being another style of battery. Let me find the switch on it. Essentially, this guy right here is just another style of battery. Now, I've looked these guys up, and you can go to the big box stores. You can buy 2 packs of these things. And you can get 2 of these guys for like $28, $30. I mean, it's ridiculously cheap. Excuse me, small font. Unfortunately, old eyes coming into play here. This is the part that sucks with small font. This one being yet another battery with a 10,000 milliampere capacity. So with 2 units that maybe weigh on the better part of maybe about a pound, maybe a pound and change. So maybe about 400 or 500 grams. I have literally at least 5 to 6 recharges on a smartphone. Now, running a laptop per se, these guys won't fully recharge a laptop, but they will make a laptop have longer life. So if you have some way to input this guy and you actually have like a power converter of some such, that might actually work. Now, running a laptop is going to take one whole hell of a lot more juice than simply going, you know what? I am going to think things through logically, and I might actually just take it one step down, and I'm going to simply just utilize technology for all it's worth, and I'll get all the function of a laptop out of pretty much about the same thing, and I'll simply just download my goodies and the what's such into a tablet. This one, of course, being my standard unit. This one, of course, being a Samsung S2. They are now up to S6. So this thing is a dinosaur compared to the newer stuff. That said, I've shown movies to people on this, and they're like, wow, the screen quality on that is actually pretty good. Now, the reason why I jumped on an S2 versus an S3 is simply because the S3 is like another $120 more. And the only thing I really saw, besides a slightly better processor, was the fact that the picture looked a little better. Was it really $120 to $130 better? No, but it was a little bit better. So yes, there is the gradual progression therein. And of course, you know, things get better as the generations on go. And of course, stuff moves along and technology improves and what have you. But if you were to go, I really, really, really need something that lasts a whole hell of a lot longer. And to use that classic Alton Brown line, you know, the guy from, the classic kitchen show on the Food TV channel. If you want something that's not a single use item, but as a multitasker, you might want to think about getting one of these. This guy was about 70, 80 bucks, whatever it was. Wasn't exactly the cheapest thing, but this is a jumpstart unit for your car. Now, the cool part about it is it also has a USB plug on top. Turn that on. Now, if you think about it, with this big ass battery right here, let me run it back down again. With this big ass battery right here that can start your car like 2 or 3 times, how long do you think that little itty bitty light is going to be working? A long, long time. It does actually have a gas gauge on board. Best part about it is it's even got its own built-in flashlight. So you have something here that's not a single-use item. Also, if you're going, oh, crap, dude, I don't have a USB plug at the time, it also accepts your cigarette lighter style plugs, also known as your power ports. So on its own, this thing is probably about the better part of 10 pounds or so. Not the most unwieldy of things. Definitely not the most, perfect in design and whatnot. But here's the cool part. It actually has its own charging stuff on board. Yes, that is a wall charger that plugs in. They do say to charge this thing up every couple months, top it off and whatnot. And it's very simple. You put the wall plug down, it's red. You plug that into the power port. You turn the switching. When the wall plug turns green, it's full. Now, I have noticed that it really never actually does hit full, or if it stays full, it doesn't stay full for very, very long. It's never been an issue. And literally this thing saved my bacon on more than a few occasions where the car is just like, you let me sit too long. Fires it right up, no issue whatsoever. Hondas actually start up kind of easy. That's why they have kind of small batteries. But this unit on its own, I cannot commit it to you enough to have one of these jump start. We used to just, in the tow industry, it's referred to as a jump start box. Now, in terms of the actual utilization they're in and configuration, go on Amazon, go to like the auto parts places. I think I actually went to, of all places, Pep Boys and bought this on location in Pep Boys. Walked out, stuck it on my car, fired it up, and drove home. This thing was indispensable. And it does actually just sit in my house. Every once in a while, I'll top it off. And if you think about it in terms of back room, just in case, oh crap, things have gone really, really just, ridiculously, that thing is going to be one whole heck of a lot more than these things. And also the other thing too is that will recharge these. So if you think along the lines of like that is like a first line defense, once it dies out and goes completely, boobs up, T word up, you still have these guys as fallbacks. So in terms of technology and seeing stuff for what it is, this is actually a really good time to be involved with like, oh crap, I have too much technology. How do I prop it all up? Just make sure you have the stuff to prop up the technology that you already have. One of the other things you can do, let me see if I have it handy. I didn't really plan this video. I just fired it up. I don't have it around right now, but they actually have like one of these plugs. It's like a USB plug on one end, and then it's like bazillions of different adapter plugs on the other end. Those are unbelievably handy to have because not every single thing is going to be a micro USB. There's now micro USB. There's now USB-C. There's lightning plugs. There's the old dinosaur age 32 pin style iPod stuff. So all these things are infinitely not universal. So you probably want to have yourself a situation where you have bag up things. Man, my drawer is a mess. Bag up things to make all these things interact with one another and make themselves ability utilized. And having a battery backup system is not a bad thing. Having multiple versions of a battery backup thing is very, very cool indeed. Now, one of the other things, I got a bunch of them, and I don't know why I ordered so many. I think it's just because they were so flippin' cheap. But I went online and I ordered a bunch of these little wankers right here. So literally what this is this is a USB-A or the actual USB plug and a micro USB. Now, if you have an extension cord for USB and you have no way to plug it into your phone, these guys take up almost no room whatsoever. The other thing, too, is also the dirty little secret is I've actually proven this one out. Hang on one second. Let me find it here. But if you have a phone and the phone is turned on and the phone is compatible, this is the trippy part. You can actually use your phone as a hotspot. How cool is that? Now, you have to have a phone that actually does have a hot USB, but there's a reason why this light is turning on plugged into a smartphone that is currently in operation. It's because it allows power to come out to a source. So potentially, if you have one of these plugs and you have a friend's phone that's dead, you can recharge your friend's phone even with an old smartphone. You don't need to have like one of those wireless recharger guys. That's kind of cool tech. Would I really kind of do it in any state that's not like full-on emergency? No, because I don't want to give up all my battery power. But the thing about it is there's all kinds of ways to utilize technology for more than its intended purpose if you think outside the box just a little bit. And there's a lot of stuff out there that really can be utilized for more than it's just single-purpose use. Most people wouldn't think that you could actually use an older style smartphone as a recharging unit to a newer style smartphone. You got these little adapter guys, you can make all that stuff happen. All right, folks, I think I'm going to break up this one. Thank you guys hanging out with me on my second outing for a live cast. I'm still holding off on the 20-minute, the 30-day timeout. I think I'm still on like day 27 now. So 3 days in on my 30-day sentence of you are naughty on Facebook because those guys, man, they know. They know. Oh, man, they really know. They know that they're going to hold me out for about 30 seconds worth of introspection to go, oh, well, that didn't work. Truthfully, I really, truly don't care that they're annoyed with me. And case in point, it really doesn't do anything except make me be just a little bit more careful. And truthfully, I am absolutely just flabbergasted it took me so long to be banned yet again for 30 days on Facebook. I should have done better. I really, really should have done better. I could have possibly have been more snarky, but apparently I just wasn't snarky enough. So I'll have to be more snarky when I go back on Facebook in 30 days. All right. So anyway, I'm going to break up this one, folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Good stuff. And I'm not going to do live casts like every single day. God, it gets so old, man. It's like, premiering in blah, blah, blah time. So-and-so is going to be on YouTube. Whoa. And I don't do that, okay? I might actually go back and check out the video once they're done, but it's not the same thing as somebody just posting up a video because it's usually not quite as polished in the first place. Second off, they're usually like, not as well prepared as when they normally do a video, and it actually has good editing. It kind of doesn't look as professional. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to break up with this one, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Of course, do be sure to check me out on Around the Cabin. I'll be doing some live casts on there with Rich the Rich Hunter and the rest of the goofy crowd. Good stuff like that there. Do be sure to check us out Around the Cabin. Of course, if you see me here on 80s Podcast Channel, I appreciate your kind attention. So I'm going to break up with this one. Eat good, keep tendering as always. You know you love it. And like I usually say, see you back on Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, I'll see you around on the internet, okay? Catch you guys later. Have a good one. And, good stuff like that there. See you guys.